Good morning everyone and welcome back to another video. So we've got to finish off a few jobs in the kitchen this morning, but this afternoon we're going somewhere new. Down the road, probably a 5-minute drive, my grandparents have bought a house and they're selling their old house, which is probably an hour and a half away maybe, and they've had an offer on it yesterday and they've accepted the offer. So yeah, they're moving to this part of France, so it's pretty good. But the only problem is their house that they're moving into isn't finished. And now I think they probably have less than 3 months to get it sorted. So I thought what we can do is we'll pop down there, we'll take everyone, and we'll just try and help them finish a few jobs. Simon's very willing to help, aren't you, mate? He is, he's a good man, he is, that Simon. So we're going to finish a few jobs and then we're going to go down there, see what needs doing, and we can show you the property. So let's crack on. Look at these amazing oak steps, everyone. So a viewer of the channel called Stephanie sent these to us. And she believes they're probably from the convent. She's friends with Bruno, who is the antique dealer who I buy stuff off. And in the past, he came to the convent and he bought loads of things that the nuns were selling. And he said to her, these came from a convent. So she bought these years ago, I believe, and she sent them to us. So probably, most likely, they came from this convent, because from what I know, he's only bought stuff from one convent. And actually, now thinking about it, at the chateau, I've got some library steps. I'm not sure if they're intended to be library steps, but they're oak steps with a rail. They're quite big, much larger than this, and they also came from a convent. So maybe they came from this convent as well. These need a little bit of loving, just probably a little light sanding down and osmoing, but they're fantastic. And what these can be used for, if you're a little bit short, you can probably access stuff from high cupboards and I don't know what. They're just really, really handy for a kitchen like this. So yeah, thank you so much. I thought I'd mention that, everyone. Simon is caulking under the AC units, which really, really tidies them up, makes them look really, really neat. Obviously, the white is standing out at the moment because the light's shining on them, but once we cut in around them, they look amazing. And Simon is a master at caulking, aren't you, mate? He is. Some might say, yeah. So yeah, we're just waiting for lunchtime, essentially, then we're going down my grandparents' house. So yeah, we better do a few more jobs, Simon.
Let's crack on.
Crack on, yeah. So we're currently caulking down the side of the fireplace. So between the plasterwork and the stone, there's a bit of a gap. And when we put the plasterboard up, we did our utmost best to try and cut it into the contours of the stonework, but obviously there's gonna be a few gaps. So Simon, being the master caulker, is doing his best to try and just fill some of the gaps, bring down a beautiful bead all the way down to the floor, just so it sort of gaps or joins the plasterwork and the stonework sort of evenly. And I'll let him explain a little bit more about what he's doing.
What I'm trying to do is not make a mess of the stonework. What's that rag, please? So I'm trying, basically just trying to fill these gaps. I mean, the gap's too big, really, but we've got to do what we've got to do, haven't we? So.
Exactly, mate. You know what they say, don't you? Is it a worker never blames his tools? And we're having a bit of an issue with the caulking gun. So it's nothing wrong with Simon's work. He doesn't blame his tools, but there is actually an issue with the caulking gun. It's not very responsive today. I think it's just seen too much work. We need to replace it, don't we, Simon?
Yeah, it's the triggers are not coming back on itself.
No.
So it's fighting me.
Someone squeezed it really hard, I think. That looks lovely, Simon.
Was it filled that in? Because I can't see from
It
here.
looks beautiful, mate.
It's better, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not just stood here watching, I'm actually holding the ladder, just so you're aware, everyone. Right, so we've had lunch, and now we're going to go down my grandparents' house, and I don't know, I don't even know what to expect. I've only seen the house since it was, well, when it was just as they first bought it, and since then, I haven't seen anything.
Well, I've never seen it, so it's going to be interesting to see.
It's absolutely freezing today. We finished off in the kitchen. We've got to do a little bit of caulking tomorrow, and then I think it's only waiting for the units and everything else. So, good bit of progress this morning. Dad and Yanis have already left to go to my grandparents, so we'd better do the same. Should we crack on?
Let's crack on.
We have arrived at my grandparents' new house. So I believe this house was probably built around the 70s. Something like that. And it's what the French would call a pavillon, which is essentially a pavilion. And it looks like a bungalow, like a one-story house, but actually the rest of the house is below ground. And underneath the house is essentially a huge garage. So you've got like utility rooms, storage, stuff like that, and you can also park your car underneath. And it is ideal for my grandparents because it's not a lot of property to maintain. Currently they have quite a big house and it's in the middle of the countryside. It's not practical, so they've moved here, and the chateau is literally a 4-minute drive up the road through the countryside. So they're literally on our doorstep. So let's go in, let's go and see what he's doing, and yeah, we'll crack on.
Let's have a look.
We're inside the house, and this is going to be the master bedroom. And my granddad, who is 86 years old, has taken on a brand new renovation project. So what we're going to do, we're going to help him just get it sorted, aren't we, Simon?
Yeah.
So door, coving, painting, flooring, and then skirting. And then the bathroom's basically done. You can have a look in there if you want, Alex, in a minute. And then, yeah, we'll get everyone in here and try and get it finished as quick as possible. Because it's obviously quite important, probably more important than finishing off the kitchen or the library at this point. So yeah, let's get on with it.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're at Derek's house, as you know. I'm going to be doing the coving this afternoon. Now this coving is not made of plaster as such, it's made of polystyrene, so it's lightweight, which makes it even easier to put up in a lot of ways. So as we go through, I'm sure Alex will show you. I'll show you the cuts that we're going to do for the corners, how we do it. We traditionally use a mitre box. This one here is not quite deep enough. So Billy's dad Mick's just run to get his one, which is a bit taller, so that we can cut the angles for the corners. So I'll show you that when we get round to that. We've got this adhesive here as well, which is the cove adhesive, the French cove adhesive. I've not used this before, but it's adhesive. So I'm sure that'll be fine. So as we go along, if there's a bit that I think will interest you, I'll get Alex to film it. But I'm sure you'll see it all going up, and hopefully we'll have no issues. So let's crack on.
Right, so while Simon is doing the coving, we can't really do anything else in the room. We can't paint, we can't do the flooring, we can't put the door in. So I'm going to just show you around quickly. This is the kitchen. Come into the kitchen, Alex, and everyone who's watching. Always put the light on. Look at that. A beautiful oak kitchen. This is all coming out, by the way. I know we're putting something like this in at the convent, but my grandparents are taking this out because it's just a little bit dated. Yeah, so they're solid oak doors with oak coloured carcasses, a bit like what we're doing at the convent. But yeah, it's a good quality kitchen, nothing wrong with it. It's quite a big room as well, so this is being changed for a more modern kitchen. Flooring is going to be changed, just a bit of decorating. Not a lot of work, surprisingly. It's quite a nice space. All the electrics have been redone in the house as well. If you follow me into the front room. This is the front room, the lounge. So you've got a lovely fireplace here, which is fully functional, or functioning. You've got quite a lot of windows. You've got doors that go outside as well. This has already been painted, ceiling's been painted. I believe these ceiling roses have been put in. Have they been put in? Or they're original? I think they're original. So all we've got to do in here is put the new flooring in and the new skirting boards or baseboards. A little bit of finishing, touching up, painting, and this room should be done. Obviously, my grandparents have got a lot of furniture and things like that they're going to put in this house, so these old lights are probably coming out and things like that. Down here, you have the spare bedroom. So I think it was 2 or 3 bedrooms, but they've turned it into 2 bedrooms. One for themselves and then any for guests. It's quite a nice sized bedroom. Here is an ensuite. Can't actually see. Where's the electrics? Here's the electrics. Oh, you scared me. You really scared me. Come in. So this is going to be a utility room with a shower, toilet. So obviously for the guests, the spare bedroom also will have its own sort of ensuite, but also utility room, so it makes use of both spaces. And then where we currently are doing the coving. So yeah. Wow, you did a good job, Simon. It almost looks like you know what you're doing. So I'm going to show you the upside down house, everyone. If you come with me, this goes down into the basement, which is actually the ground floor. So come with me. Wow, it's huge. So you could get 2 or 3 cars in here probably. Quite comfortably, at least 2 cars. And then you've just got lots of different rooms and things down here, like this is underneath the staircase, underneath the spare bedroom. It's really hard to see in there, but it's a huge room. And then here, you could have a workshop, somewhere for your mower. It'd be fantastic, somewhere to put your tools. So yeah, it's really, really nice. And obviously the garage, this does open automatically to drive a car in. Yeah. It's quite typical of a sort of a house inside of a French village. Generally, I think houses like this sort of style were built around the 70s, 80s, something like that. It could even be 60s, as early as that. But they're quite practical, and you see them everywhere in France. They're quite well built. It's all breeze blocks and good materials. Very different to the convent, but it's fantastic because my grandparents have currently got a house in the middle of the countryside, which is ancient, probably quite difficult to heat. A lot of land, quite a lot of acres. And something like this is a lot more practical. So yeah, it's really good. Happy that they're going to be only just down the road, so yeah. Simon's doing a fantastic job upstairs. He is the sort of person who will just go, look, let me do that, because he'll do it properly. And then we're going to work from the ceiling down. Tomorrow we're going to get the door in, because there's currently no door on the bedroom, and then start doing the flooring. So it's going to be fantastic. Nice to get the bedroom done, and then all the other rooms obviously after that can come later. So yeah, let's go and crack on. So we want to put this ceiling rose up quickly, but Grandad's got quite a heavy chandelier, and we can't put it up without putting a hook through the ceiling. And the only place I know where they sell hooks for chandeliers is at Brico. So I'll put that down. We'll go down Brico quickly. It means we can get that up. The ceiling can be painted tomorrow, and then we can keep moving on. So I don't feel very useful at the moment because they're quite busy in there, and I'm just sort of like this, watching. So yeah, we'll go down Brico quickly, and it means we can get that up. And yeah, let's go. So we're in the car, everyone, and let's see how far. Brico is exactly 2 kilometers away. So it's not very far at all, is it? So that's pretty handy. 2 kilometers. So I've got to come down here and turn around. It's quite a nice little village. This is where Ernest goes to school. And yeah, pretty enough. There we go, 2 kilometers later, we're here at Brico. Alright, so we've got everything. These are essentially chandelier hooks that you screw into this thing here, and then that goes up into the ceiling, and then when you pull back on it, it goes like that. So essentially your hook comes down and that supports it. And depending on how the ceiling's built, if it's just a light chandelier, it's okay if it's plasterboard, but actually all the ceilings in my Nan and Grandad's house are like terracotta, so they're quite strong. So yeah, that should work well. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, Alex, get in. So I've got the ceiling rose, everyone, and I've made a nice little hole in it, just about big enough. And this is going to go like that on the ceiling, but the hooks that we got at Brico, hold that, Simon, this goes up into the ceiling, and then as you pull it, it then goes straight, and that will hold a chandelier. Obviously not one that weighs 70 or 80 kilo, but this is a terracotta ceiling, so it's very strong. It means that once this goes up in there, it will hold a pretty decent sized chandelier. Obviously nothing like the kitchen, but big enough for a bedroom. So let me just try and feed that up in there quickly without damaging the ceiling. I'm just going to get some pliers quickly and make that slightly smaller on that side. Just got to sort of customise it slightly without ruining it. Ooh. Twisted it a bit, that's fine. Nice and strong. Need to give it a tap now. Well, I got this. It's going well, isn't it? go. There we go. So that's it. If I get it up, Simon, I'll let you orientate it and clean it up afterwards. We'll get a rough idea of which way it goes though. It's basically like a cross, so the electrics are off, everyone. There we go. And there is the hole. Something like that for now. And now if I get this in. Okay, now if I give a little yank on them cables and then tighten up that nice hook, because if you can see the rose, it's a bit of a cross, isn't it? So,
That's fine.
are you happy with it, Grandad?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Yeah. I'll come down and have a look just in case.
Beautiful.
Simon, you did a fantastic job, mate.
Thank you. There's a little bit left to do, but we've got to put the door frame in tomorrow first so that we could go across the top. Because the door frame obviously doesn't go right to the ceiling, so it's just a little section we've got to put in, and I can carry on with the coving across it.
Grandad and Nan and Grandad bought really nice quality oak doors, so it's going to look really nice. I'm going to bring some Osmo tomorrow. We're going to go to the convent first thing, and it'd be nice to try and get that bedroom done sort of midweek. What do you reckon?
Yeah. I mean, once the coping's up, then it's really just painting, then we can put the floor down, can't we? And then skirting.
Yep. So I reckon Monday or Tuesday we're doing flooring, and then we'll just try and get some other jobs done, and it just helps them out. It means they can move in. I think if the bedroom's done, they can sort of move in.
And they can stay there, can't they?
Yeah, exactly. Because it's quite a nice place, and it's quite warm in there as well, because they've got electric heaters and things like that. So, yeah, brilliant. Thank you everyone for watching this video, and we'll see you all tomorrow.